Hi guys, welcome back to the Mental Health Quarters. I just want to thank you so much for checking out last week's video. In fact, let me be very honest, I wasn't expecting like about 100 of you to watch that video because it is something very embarrassing to talk about, but I'm so glad you checked out the video and I'm sure you learned something from it. Today my topic for discussion is a little bit surprising, as the title connotes. Surprising things I've come to love about living with bipolar disorder. Before we continue, kindly do me the honors of subscribing to the channel and hit the bell button so that you'll be the first person to be notified the next time my video goes up. So thank you for doing that for me. So this point I'm about to mention is going to sound really strange to a lot of people, but it's something that I have noticed on my mental health journey and road to recovery. So because I have bipolar disorder, which is a two-in-one sickness, I need daily medication. I need mood stabilizers and antipsychotic medication, which I have here in my pill box so that I do not forget, and I am consistent, and I refill, and it also lets me know when like I'm running out. So this pill box is very helpful. So with these medications, what I'll say is that what I have noticed is that when I take them, I sleep really deep, like very deep. I'm not saying, maybe I'm exaggerating. I sleep very deep, and then I do not, like, a lot of external noise doesn't wake me up. So I'm going to take you back in time. So when I was in senior high school, holy child, senior high school, I realized that back then I wasn't having bipolar disorder, so I was just like all of you who may not have mental health conditions. So I realized that when I was sleeping in the dormitory, like, and somebody's alarm in another house would wake me up. Not my alarm, their alarm. So I would immediately be able to wake up and realize, oh, the alarm is ringing from another house, not even my dormitory. That was how, like, sensitive, should I say sensitive? That was how sharp my ears were. Like, the slightest noise wakes me up. But things changed when I started taking medication for bipolar disorder. I realized I could sleep so deep that even certain noises don't wake me up. I remember one time I went for scripture union camp, and this was a couple of years ago. And I remember we were all chatting in the room, laughing, talking, and everything. I just said I was going to bed, and the rest of my colleagues were still chatting. So the following day, someone asked a friend of mine that, like, wow, with all the noise we were making, like, I was able to sleep. I mean, the noise they were making, I was able to sleep through that. And to me, that was like, yeah, that's how my life is now. And then I remember when I was living with Esa's family too, the same thing used to happen. Like, her mom will come over to my room, we'll be laughing, we'll be chatting, we'll be talking, all of us, girls, and I'll fall asleep through that noise. And it was a little bit shocking, especially for my mom back then initially, but she figured it out that it's the medication. Like, I sleep really deep, and it has its pros in a sense that with all the noise and the drama and the rest, I'm able to sleep like a baby. Is a baby a good this thing to use? But I'm able to sleep so softly, so soundly, so peacefully. And the next day, because of the medication, I actually wake up really refreshed, like sleep quality 100%. Like, I feel so good within, and it's something that not a lot of people have. So I'm not saying I do not miss my life before medication, because the medications are not cheap, they are expensive. I think every month I spend about 800 cedis. I will show you the receipts, and you know how the prices of things have spiked up. It has really affected the cost of my medication, and my medications are not always on health insurance. Does that even make sense? Let me explain it to you. Not every pharmacy like provides health insurance, and the pharmacies that also provide health insurance, not every pharmacy has my medication on health insurance. And as you know, I am not employed by anybody, so my parents have to be giving paying giving me this money to pay for the medication every month. And my parents are pensioners. They are beyond 60. So it's not a joke. Like, it's not funny at all. It's not funny at all. And these medications, it's not like you take them occasionally. You need them daily. Uh-huh. So I do miss my life before medication. It was a very affordable lifestyle. Nowadays it's not affordable like that again. Another surprising thing that living I've come to love about living with bipolar disorder is resilience. Growing up, I used to think I was the weakest person. I'm really serious about that. I thought I was very weak. I was very shy. I was not good enough. I was just like, I was just a mess. I never thought I had any strength in me. No strength. I don't have some. That's what I believed in. But when I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder, I tell people all the time that it's a two-in-one sickness. So we have one side, which is the mania, and the other side, which is depression. And the mania is the high side, where you do a lot of things that doesn't make sense to a lot of people. You yourself, when you recover, you realize it doesn't make sense. I mean, living recklessly, spending your money, being excessively generous, having difficult relationships with people. It's like you become a toxic person, and you become annoying, irritable. Then you have the depression, which, so imagine doing all those things. So spending your money, doing all those things, fighting with people, arguing with people, and not being able to sleep on top. With all of that, and you hurt a lot. You not only hurt yourself, you hurt other people. That's how what mania does. And depression too does the same. So I mean, when you behave in that way, when you recover, you begin to have like flashbacks of what you did to yourself and what you did to people. And it's very difficult. It's very painful. I mean, to realize the damage you have caused. It's something that I always say it's very painful, it's very difficult. And so to be able to sit down and say, oh, I made a mess, I need to forgive myself and move on, it requires a lot of resilience. And resilience is not something you go and buy in a shop. It's something that I feel like God gives, and you have to work hard towards it, to be stronger and stronger every day. You refuse to give up. You keep going on and on. And I tell people, our mental health journey and road to recovery is like climbing a mountain. You are climbing, you are doing well, you are enjoying the view, you are enjoying the thrill. All of a sudden you relapse. When the sickness comes back and comes back harder, it's like falling from a mountain. Your bones are shattered, broken, and you have to keep climbing again. That's where the pain that's why I say it requires resilience. I mean, forgiving yourself, moving on, realizing that you can do it, you have done it before, you have to do it. It's very painful. Now we have the depression, the low side, low energy, loss of interest in activities you once enjoyed. You just isolate yourself, withdraw from people. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to bath. You don't want to brush your teeth. Hey, I mean, to be in that, I tell people, when you are depressed, it's like you are in a hole. You want to come out every day, but every day you keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. And it also feels like a prison. You want to come out. Every day you think oh, today I have the energy, I'll try and come out. Oh, you realize there's no energy to come out. And it's very painful because people will not understand you, people will judge you for it, people will think, just snap out of it, just snap out of it. You yourself, you want to snap out, but you can't snap out until you are able to finally come out of that depressive mood. When you finally come out, then it teaches you, wow, you are actually a really strong person, because to survive in that hole, in that prison, you are one of the strongest people. So it has taught me that it's something I've come to love, that if I've been able to pass through depression and mania, I've been able to overcome all these things, then wow, I'm a boss. Like, I am strong, I am resilient, I have passed through fire. I've passed through fire and I've come out, and I don't smell like smoke. I don't look like what I've been through. Oh, I'm proud of myself. So I tell people, like, it's one of the things I've come to love, because when you have a mental health condition, it's very difficult. It's one of the, I tell people, sometimes it feels like a curse. You don't know what happened, but you are in this situation and you really, really want to be free, but you just have to live with it. And I tell people, bipolar disorder is like having, this world, we all have dogs and cats, domestic animals for pets. But in your life, bipolar disorder can feel like you have a lion for a pet. And you do not want people to know you have a lion for a pet. So you take your medications, you do therapy, eating well, sleeping well, exercising. All those things are so that you can make your lion pet tame. And so when you relapse, it's like all of a sudden, your pet is no longer on that tranquilizer, it's no longer tame. And it ends up destroying your where you stay, destroying, attacking people in your life. It makes you do those things. And then at the end of the day, you recover and you come and realize, oh my God, is this what my lion pets did to my house? Is this what it did to my relationship? Is this what it did to my co-workers? Is it what it did to my friends? And so it's a tough one sometimes. So if you can, have a lion pet like that, it shows you are really resilient. It shows, if you can have a lion as your pet for years, and still keep everything together, it shows how strong you are. So I tell people, look, it doesn't matter how many years you've been on your road to recovery, even being alive and living with a mental health condition, you deserve an award. Like, you deserve an award. You have really come far. You don't have to do anything spectacular, like be on a stage doing like mental health advocacy like I do, or have your YouTube channel, no, or be on TV, radio, no. Even you living privately, healing privately, and doing all those things, you deserve an award. Because if you pass through all certain things, or you are going through them privately, and you still manage to come up every day and you show up, you show out, you keep living, you have done well. So never give up. So most of you know that I am a lived experience mental health advocate. I have been sharing my lived experience since 2019 on many platforms, locally, internationally, and it is, public speaking was something that it's like I knew I had it, but I didn't know I had it. So for example, growing up, I felt I was a very shy person. I don't know what my childhood friends would think, but I felt I was shy. I was just trying to perform very well in my academics privately. But when I got to senior high school, I was given an opportunity by my literature teacher, Sister Rose, to present group work. And my group members also gave me that opportunity every day. So I think that was where my confidence was being built and my public speaking journey started. Then when I was in university, I decided that I wanted to teach a Bible study group in my church on campus. My confidence was being built there to gradually public speaking like that. I didn't know all these things were preparing me for what I'm doing now. Then I think national service, I became a French teacher in my school, Michelle Camp, where I was teaching. And I think I did some internships too in teaching. So that's opportunity to stand in front of people and speak. It was being, those skills were being honed, and I did not know that all those little things I was, maybe I'm calling them little now, but I did not know they were actually preparing me for, they are not little things, preparing me for the global platform that I have today. So I know that if I did not get diagnosed with bipolar disorder, I don't think I'll be doing what I'm doing today, especially the public speaking. I strongly feel that because I have lived experience with bipolar disorder, when I say lived experience, it just tells you that I am someone who has lived with the condition. I have experienced the signs, the symptoms, I have gone through a lot. And so my experience is different from a mental health professional who has probably just studied it and worked with people with mental health conditions. So because of my lived experience, I am usually given platforms to speak because I have a story to share, and I have gone through some things on my road to recovery. I have first-hand experience with stigma after I got fired from my job. And so it is one of the things I've come to love, because by doing a lot of public speaking, my confidence has skyrocketed, and it has also made me realize that, oh, I am also important and I can also do something to help other people. So ever since I decided to go out and be a mental health advocate, it's a skill that has become very essential for me. It's a tool I use to help people, to encourage people, to lift people's spirits up, to even network, to make friends with people and all of that. I know that if I did not have this condition, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing, and I love it. I did not know I'll come to love public speaking so much. I really love it, and it feels like something that was hidden, and because of my diagnosis, like, it's like my diagnosis completely brought it out, but it was always in there. And so it's something that surprisingly I have come to love about living with bipolar disorder. And now that it has come out, like, that skill is out, even if bipolar disorder is no more in my life, at least it showed me what I have. Bipolar disorder has become an eligibility requirement for me in so many networks, for so many opportunities. And somebody will say yes, criteria, because I have seen opportunities where they will say they are looking for somebody, a person who has lived experience with a mental health condition, or sometimes they'll specify that they are looking for someone with lived experience with bipolar disorder. And because I told bipolar disorder is two in one, there's sometimes two in one, so there's depression. So sometimes they'll specify that they want somebody with lived experience with depression. And so because I have these lived experiences, that's where I come in. So I usually apply, and most of the time, almost always, yes, I am chosen. And it has been life changing for me because I have met people through such projects, such workshops, through such networks, organizations, activities, all these things. I have met other people all over the world who also live with mental health conditions, and I have learned things which I know I would never have been able to learn had it not been for a particular project, or had it not been for the fact that I participated in a certain workshop. And for me, I look at it that sometimes I say this thing may look like something that disqualifies you, but look at what is happening in this situation. You are actually being qualified because of this condition. And I am really, really grateful, because I know for a fact that Had it not been that, I wouldn't have had such opportunities. And also in mental health networks locally and internationally, because I have regularly participated in such events, anytime such opportunities or panel discussions, they are looking for someone, I'm their go-to person because I'm a familiar face. They can trust me and count on me. They've seen my work. They know my worth. They know my value. They can count on me that, oh, Ese will show up and show out. She's ready to help. She's ready to work, and all of that. So it's been it's surprising that this is what is happening here. So sometimes don't sit down and think, oh, I'm cursed, I'm disqualified, and where will I ever be qualified at? There's always a place for you. There's always a place for you. Some way, somehow. It reminds me of this scripture, Romans 8, verse 28, that God works all things together for the good of those who loved God. And every time I'm grateful because I tell God, look, some years ago, I thought you were responsible. You were the one who gave me this condition. Like, you could have done something else for it to happen and you allowed it to happen. And now I look back and I'm like, God knew that whatever happens, He's always going to turn my lemons into lemonade. So I should just relax. He's not responsible for giving me this condition, but He sure knows how to work it out and turn it around. So I'm grateful. I'm really, really grateful to God for the exposure, because some of the organizations I've worked with, never in my wildest dream would I have thought I would have been working with World Health Organization or WHO or Global Mental Health Peer Network or World Psychiatry. I've forgotten the last part, but all those big like people in the mental health community internationally, never. I've done so much work in the international mental health community that sometimes it's even hard to keep up. And sometimes I even keep running into people like I met somewhere. Not, I didn't meet them physically, but I met them at a virtual event and I've come to meet them here. It's always nice. It's always like wonderful that, oh, I met you here and now I meet you here. It has given me a family that like I could have never had if this hadn't happened to me. So I'm grateful. This point I'm about to mention is so obvious because it's actually what I am doing right now, talking to you through your phone screen, TV screen, or laptop screen. My YouTube channel, Mental Health Quarters, which initially started out as All Things Bipolar Disorder during the COVID period, March 2020. So I know for a fact that had it not been my lived experience with bipolar disorder, I wouldn't have started the channel. In fact, getting fired from my job, which was my first-hand experience with stigma, is what like finally thrust me into, look, Esna, like at this point, you were doing some undercover mental health advocacy. I was like, so let me back it up. So I was a mental health advocate from the years 2019 to 2020. And I had been doing this. The reason why I'm saying undercover is those like people who were very close to me knew what I was doing, but I wasn't out there like the way people know me now. And so when I got fired from my job, I just realized, look, what's the point of doing undercover? And at that time, I was also concerned about what my extended family were saying. Some of them were saying that, look, if you go like out there and share your story and tell people what you are living with, it might not help you, it might not favor you, you might not get a job, you might not get a husband, you might not get children, blah blah. So by getting fired from my job, I realized, look, there's no point to hiding anymore. I need to do this, and I feel strongly that this is what I should be doing, sharing my story and creating awareness about mental health conditions so that stigma and discrimination will be reduced. And I know for a fact that it's God that gave me that idea, because it was surprising how when I started the channel, everything was just coming together in terms of the equipment I needed, topics, guests. Okay, at the time I didn't really have guests like that, but I had people I could count on, like Ese and my friend Queen and all those people. So I remember at the time my a project I was part of was ending. Abena Koko brought me on that project. She so what basically I was doing was I was a time to change champion. We would go to places, we go for events, we go to locations to share our lived experiences and share materials, souvenirs, to just create awareness. And that project was ending. Funding had like immediately been cut off. So I remember one of the last words to Baker, the global lead of the organization. I remember she told us, look, wherever you go, let your light shine, and whatever you do, just let your light shine. And I remember I told myself, okay, Sue said we should let our light shine. So if it's YouTube that I'll do and I'll let my light shine, I'll do it. So to be very honest, I didn't start YouTube for money, and I've still not been monetized. Those who are looking at me like I've been monetized. No, I've not been monetized. And I remember, with all that being said, I went ahead and I just started the channel. And I'm really glad I did it, because I always tell people that, look, God forbid, God forbid, even if I die, I'm not going to die, but God forbid, even if I die, my legacy, whatever I've created, the content I've created, everything that I have done, the interviews, all they are on my channel, and it will speak to generations even like after me, and it will prepare people. So the main reason why I started YouTube was to help people, to prepare people, because when I was newly diagnosed with bipolar disorder, I did not know any Ghanaian whom I could look to and say, oh, this person also has bipolar disorder or a mental health condition. It was 4 or 5 years later before I got to know other people who also had mental health conditions through Abena Koko and the networks that I later on became part of through her. So I started the channel, and I have no regrets, because through starting this channel, sometimes I go to town, I meet people who come to me and personally thank me for creating a channel. They've learned a lot. And I remember, I think the funniest one, that it's not funny, but it was something that really touched my heart. Someone said her boyfriend watches my channel. I was like, oh, thank you. I hope he still watches though. And then sometimes I have mental health professionals whom I do not know. I remember the last time I was in my neighborhood, and one lady spoke to me and she told me, look, I watch your channel, and it's really, I think it's a very good resource for my patients and all of it. And it makes me happy. It really makes me happy, because I created this as a free resource for people, to help families, to help friends, to help people with lived experience with mental health conditions. So if it's working, I'm fine. And surprisingly, I've come to love it, because I never thought I would love content creation. I don't like the challenges it comes with, but that's life. You can't have it all. But I really love creating content. I love editing. I love interviewing people. I love meeting new people. I love sharing my experience. I enjoy it. I didn't know I would love it. So I know if I did not have lived experience with bipolar disorder, I would never have discovered, oh, madam, essay, you can do content creation. And I've told them, me, no, I cannot. It has also given me a community, both online and physically, and I'm grateful for all of you. I'm also grateful to all my friends who know some of the stories, but they still come to the channel to learn more. It really touches my heart when they do that, and like, but I love it. And I am so grateful that I decided to do it. In fact, this video is my 90th video, and I can't wait to hit 100 videos, and I'll give myself a personal award for that, because content creation, if you don't know the behind the scenes, like what goes on behind the scenes, like for instance, this video I'm recording right now, if I tell you the number of times my phone has notified me that my battery is like hot, you wouldn't believe it. About maybe close to 4 or 5 times, and I've had to take the phone down, um, put the fan on it. If you don't believe me, put the fan on it, and then come back. I don't know if it's the ring lights that is making the phone battery heat up quickly, but content creation is not for the faint-hearted. You have to be very strong because you'll be discouraged editing, and I think one day I'll do a separate video for that. And then I think I'll also do a video about things I hate about bipolar disorder. I wanted to bring the good first, and bring the bad later. But I'm really glad that you are enjoying the video. Myself, I'm enjoying talking about it. Another thing that I love about living with bipolar disorder is because it has taught me how to be disciplined and committed and be faithful. Because those are things that, to be committed to taking a medication, like medications for years, daily, on time, to be committed to go for review appointments as you have been, like, they've told you to come on this day, this date. You have to be a very disciplined and committed person, and to listen to what your doctors are saying, obey, and work together as a team and come this far. It requires a whole lot of discipline, and it's something that I feel like you can't just get anyway. An experience has to happen to teach you how to become like that, you see. So doing all these things, and even committed in the face of adversity, because I remember some years ago I was depressed. I was so depressed. I couldn't eat, I couldn't bath, I couldn't brush my teeth, but I still had to be taking my medication. I don't feel like it. That type of commitment, you cannot buy it anywhere. You have to be disciplined. Sometimes I remember there were times where I would feel really, really bad about the fact that my parents were spending so much money for my so that my mental health would be good. And there were times that I would get so discouraged. I wish it will all be over so that everybody can live their lives. Because I felt like things have changed, such a huge transition for me. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad that whatever happened, because it has shown, even though it's not really a good thing, it has shown me another side, that learning to be disciplined, committed, faithful. When you are told to come for review, you should. I'm telling you, there were times in my journey I didn't feel like going for review. I didn't feel like talking to doctors. I didn't feel like opening up. If your psychologist is asking you questions, not every day you feel like sharing or saying what really is on your mind. It comes with a lot of. It has also taught me how to be vulnerable. Vulnerable in the sense that we are going to help you, not vulnerable like I'm taking advantage of you. No. And so I'm so glad that I learned these things, and I know if I did not have a mental health condition, I don't know where I would have learned to develop some of these things. I call them, I don't know how to call them, things, skills, and all of that. So if you made it this far, please make sure you subscribe and like and share. It's not a YouTube cliche. We say these things so that as you are doing them, the channel will be more, YouTube will be able to recommend the channel to more people all over the world, and the channel will grow and do well organically, and the purpose of the channel will also be achieved. So please be nice. Be nice. And please do that for me. I know you're a nice person because I'm a nice person. So as you're watching my channel, we are all nice. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day, night, weekend, wherever you're watching from. Bye.